My name is Karen Bailey. I'm a writer, and my current work is I'm doing a YA novel, sort of magic, shape-changing people, and I'm hoping to have that finished, or the first draft finished very soon.
And have you ever experienced writer's block? If so, have you overcome this?
Writer's block, not so much. And mainly because I've learnt to write, not wait for inspiration to write. It was something I learned a very long time ago, is that you don't wait for inspiration. You just sit down, you put pen to paper and you write. Even if it's garbage, you write. The thing is, garbage is having written. And there may be something you can take out of it, and there may not be something you can take out of it, but at least you've broken through that barrier. However, what I do suffer from sometimes is what I call writer's resistance, where I know if I sit down and start writing, I'll write, but I just don't want to. You know, I just sort of feel, what's the point? Who's going to read this? Is it going to be, you know, is it just going to be me writing something that's never going to be seen by anyone again? And again, really the only solution to that is the same as for writer's block, is to actually make yourself sit down, put your fingers on the keyboard and start typing.
So with this in mind, this kind of need to keep writing,
mm-hmm.
How does that fit in with a work-life balance for you?
It's not easy because I work full-time most of the time, and I usually, because I work in software a lot of the time, most of my jobs tend to be in the city or over the North Shore way. So I also have long commutes. So sitting down at a computer and writing during a workday week is just not going to happen, not at all. So I've trained myself to write on my iPhone.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, the first novel was completely unsophisticated. I wrote it on a software program called iWriter on my iPhone, and then I'd upload it into my favourite writing program, which is called Scrivener, on my computer. However, since then, Scrivener have managed to get out a mobile version which syncs with Dropbox and such things. So now the second novel is being written in a much more sophisticated manner using Scrivener on my mobile. But it's still the mobile, and I use a mobile because I often find on trains, yes, I can take a laptop if I wanted to, but it's just easier to sit there. It's slower, but I think that sometimes works to my advantage, because I have a tendency where my mind will quite often think too quickly and my fingers don't keep up, and it makes me slow down my thought process. The downside of that is that I have a tendency to edit while I write, and you probably shouldn't edit yourself when you're doing a first draft. You should just try and get it out there. But, you know, it's either that or not right. So I think that's the better solution.
So can you tell me what you believe is the greatest barrier to publishing a creative work?
Getting someone to say yes. The first novel I shopped around to agents as well as publishers. And publishers are the worst a lot of the time, simply because, particularly big publishers, because they just don't they get swamped. If they even take submissions, some of them don't even take submissions. So unless you have an agent, they won't even look at your work. The ones that do, they get so much to look at that they don't bother telling you. I remember one very big publisher just said, if you send it in and in 9 months you haven't heard from us, consider it rejected. But you still have to wait 9 months.
What's that waiting like?
The waiting can be anywhere between, the waiting is usually long. Agents I found are very fast. Agents will usually turn around in 6 weeks. You'll hear back in 6 weeks, yay or nay. Publishers, anywhere between 6 months to a year. So unless, you know, and it's bad with publishers if they say, we don't want you to send it out to someone else while we're considering it. And some of them do say that, because it really means you have to wait that 6 months before you can send it out to anyone again. So that means from the time you finish, you have something that you're ready to send out. It can be years before you actually get it published. Absolutely years. And then there's the rejection, the constant rejection. I divide rejections into two. If you hear anything at all, it's either the standard form letter, thank you, we're glad to read your work, but it doesn't fit in with what we're doing at the moment. And then you get what I call the nice rejections, where someone says, look, it's got a lot of merit and I really liked it, but it doesn't fit in with what we're publishing at the moment, or it's just not for me. And I really did think about this a lot. And those ones I like, because you think, yes, there's hope. Someone there. It's not just rubbish that I've written. It actually is something that someone might want to read. And those ones are really good because they keep you going. But a lot of the time you just get the form rejections or nothing. And that's so disheartening. So those are all the things that you need to deal with when you're looking for a publisher.
And finally, what then drives you to be creative? Where does this come from?
I'd go insane, I think, if I wasn't. I notice that I tend to get much more anxious and a little bit more depressed if I don't create. So really, it's kind of therapy. But it's therapy that I feel isn't as internal as you might think it is, because ultimately I'm writing something that I hope other people will enjoy. I do also some photography as well as writing, and it's the same sort of thing. You're putting something out there for someone else to see and enjoy, and it's nice when they get something from it as well. So unlike therapy, which tends just to be for you, creating tends to be for you and for other people. So that makes it a win-win situation.
Oh, I love that, Karen. Thank you so much for coming in. And we look forward to starting our writers group with the My Weekend Matter.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. Thank you.